Welcome to another episode from Takedowns to Breakdowns. Today we're here to talk about two of our favorite things, wrestling and metal. And when those two worlds combine, it's nearly perfect. Yeah. It's not perfect, but it's nearly perfect.
Because the wrestling side is slowly dying out, but also being kind of like risen. Because for a certain time I wasn't into wrestling anymore, and then like AEW happened, so I started getting back into it.
But you still love the old stuff, NWO, like the Wolfpack, Chris Jericho, the Y2J, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
The old WWE I'm still into.
Yeah, the Raw era. You're still a fan of the Raw era. It's just like you've kind of gone through the crossing of the desert lately with WWE, but I feel like AEW is a little bit of that oasis that you see in the distance that gives you some hope for a better future as far as wrestling is concerned. So we're here to talk about entrance music or walkout music, whatever you want to say. Some of our favorites and some perhaps that didn't have but should have a really cool walkout song from a metal band or from a rock band.
Yeah, I have one in mind for that.
Okay, so I want to start off with two that to me are absolutely iconic, and one of them really threw me for a loop for the longest time, and that's Y2J with Bring the Walls Down. I thought that was a Rage Against the Machine song, because when I saw the clock, right, you see the clock, and then the video is like police cars and riots and that kind of, I was like, wow, that's totally Rage Against the Machine. And then the song kind of has a little bit of a Rage Against the Machine vibe with Bring the Walls Down.
The whole political,
It feels very political, you know what I mean? So it kind of has that vibe to me. So for the longest time, I thought it was Rage Against the Machine. I know for sure it's not a Rage Against the Machine song. I still don't know who sings that song.
Same.
But to me, that's one of the most iconic songs. And I know now that he walks out to Judas. I know you like Judas, I know you like Fozzy, but it's not the same.
Because it's not iconic as Break the Walls Down.
Because of the whole entrance.
Exactly.
With him with his back turned, with his arms wide open, just like Creed. And then he would switch around with a mic.
But now he's Le Champion.
Have his hair in a ponytail with those flashy shirts. Yeah. It was the whole combo. It captured your attention immediately.
Exactly.
Immediately.
And that's why I think personally the entrance of a wrestler and the theme music that they use is my gateway into liking
their wrestler.
Exactly.
Now with Judas, I understand why he uses it. First of all, it's Fozzy's biggest song ever. I would say it's Fozzy's Enter Sandman, because that album, Judas, is Fozzy's Black Album. Like, if you're comparing them to... I'm not comparing them to Metallica, but you know what I'm trying to say here. It's their biggest record, and that is without a shadow of a doubt, their biggest hit. So I understand him using Judas because he wants to promote himself, he wants to promote the band. I completely get it. But that song...
doesn't represent him.
Doesn't represent Le Champion.
Le Champion.
No.
He's not Judas, he's JC.
Exactly. His character is not the Judas of AEW. So to me, it feels like it's completely out of place.
He basically is JC. He has his disciples around him.
Yeah, that's true. But there's also my jerk-off friend who also thinks he's
the Judas.
He's the Judas because he betrayed JC. So he should have Judas as his walkout song. So anyways, I just think that for as much as I like that song, for as much as I like Fozzy, I'm not a huge fan of that track as a walkout song because it doesn't really match the character that he's portraying. But Break the Walls Down is iconic, all right? Now, another one, there's two more actually that I want to mention to you before I get some of your thoughts on your favorites and perhaps some that don't have a song that should have a song. I don't think we can talk about walkout songs and not talk about Triple H with Motorhead.
Oh, that's iconic.
It doesn't get any bigger than that. If you're a metal head and you're into wrestling, that has to be the greatest walkout song ever.
The game.
The game.
But not just that one.
He actually got Lemmy to do a fucking song.
He got Lemmy to do 3 songs. Okay, you got the game, King of Kings, and
King of Kings,
and the sand one, the one for Evolution.
He did the one for Evolution as well.
Evolution.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
So
incredible.
You got 3, and they're 3 good songs.
The game is, that song is incredible.
Yeah, but the King of the King one is like his new one.
Yeah.
Since he's like the higher guy or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, the head honcho.
That one makes sense why it's now King of King. So
because he also wears the crown.
He also wears the crown, but throughout all 3 of those songs, all 3 have been a good song for the character he was.
Perfect, I think. All of them are perfect. But the fact that he got Lemmy to do those songs just pushes it to a whole new level. You know what I mean? It's not like he got like some Joe Blow to to do the song.
No, he got Lemmy to do it.
He got the King of Kings to do the song. I mean, I don't think you can talk about metal, walkout songs in wrestling, and not talk about Triple H and Lemmy. I mean, that to me is the pinnacle.
Yeah.
That is the pinnacle. Now, last but not least, I don't know if you realize this, but NWO's intro song is sampled out of 2 songs from Jimi Hendrix. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
And also, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, his song is Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Yeah, so like there's a huge
I
Jimi Hendrix influence on NW. Like the NWO, they took riffs from 2 songs and they kind of merged it together. They changed it a little bit because probably they don't want to pay copyrights or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's a huge Jimi Hendrix influence on Hollywood Hulk Hogan and the NWO. Isn't that cool? That's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool. And those guys, and that song fits them also very well.
Every time I hear that dun, 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 I picture him walking like
and doing that
with the belt and using the belt as a guitar.
Yeah.
And Scott Hall behind him going like this, with his walk, and then NWO, that voice that would come in.
I feel like
iconic.
Whenever you listen to that song, you should always think of them walking out with the belt that has the NWO on it.
Spray painted on it.
Yeah.
Spray painted on it. My God, man. I just absolutely... I only need to listen to 1 second of that guitar. Bow, down. That's it. I in my mind, I see those 3 guys, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hollywood Hulk Hogan coming out all in black with a belt, with a spray paint on it, doing air guitar on the belt. Like, it's just fucking iconic. I just love that shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't get much better than that. To me, in wrestling, as far as metal songs and walkout songs are concerned, to me, those 3 are perhaps, even though the Chris Jericho one is not really a metal song.
Same with the NWO one.
In the NWO, but it's a classic rock.
It's classic rock.
I mean, you still have to put, to me, those 3 are probably at the top as far as best walkout songs. Do you have any heavier song or metal song or rock song as part of an... What was CM Punk? Didn't CM Punk
CM Punk had Burn by Killswitch Engaged.
Oh, that was pretty good.
And that was an actual good song. I actually liked that song. And it kind of went with what he was at the time. It fit who he was. That's the whole thing that I like. It fit him at the time.
Didn't was it Christian or Edge that had an Alter Bridge song?
That was Edge.
Was Edge? He had an Alter Bridge song, right?
Funny story. We went to a concert and Alter Bridge was there playing. And we're like, who the fuck are these guys? And then they play. I didn't know any of their songs except for that one song.
When it came on,
we looked at each other. We're like,
"Fuck, Edge! Is Edge gonna walk out?" I had no.
We weren't enjoying it until that song because I remember
it's not my favorite band.
It's not my favorite band. And they were
okay. They were middle of the card anyways.
They were okay, but in that concert they were the weakest link.
I think so.
And that song played, and I'm like, oh, it saved their whole show.
To me, it was just funny because I knew the song from Edge.
I didn't know it was them.
But I didn't know it was their song. So when they performed that song, it's like, it didn't feel like they were playing their song. It felt like they were playing Edge's song.
But then when you hear his vocals, it's like, oh, it
was perfect.
It was perfect.
Yeah, so there's been quite a few. That Edge song is a good one.
The Aleister Black one.
I don't know who sings the song.
Sings it. I forgot what it's called. But Code Orange did their kind of
during NXT
cover.
TakeOver.
Yeah, and it was heavier than the original because it was
because it's Code Orange. I'm not a huge fan of Code Orange, but I saw that performance and they had the singer of the song
of the actual
performing
song
with them, and it was kick ass.
Yeah,
absolutely kick ass. So I really liked that. Actually, if I was Aleister Black, he's not with WWE anymore. But
they changed his music before he left too, and it wasn't the same.
Oh man, but that song was so cool.
And he used to come out. They had like a weird thing he'd lie down on, and then it'd like come up, and he would be like this, like he was dead. He was such a cool character.
Another cool character. Talking about Edge. That had a cool music. I don't know who did it, but it was kind of goth. Was Gangrel?
Yeah. Oh,
when they were coming off the Brood, when they were coming off the ground, that music was really interesting.
The Brood, yeah.
It had a little bit of a goth feel.
And that plays into the whole thing. The music got me into them because I heard that theme song. I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? And then I went, I'm like, oh, it's Christian and Edge when they were younger and all that. So that was my gateway to the Brood.
If the Brood was around now, I think Lord of the Lost would be perfect for them coming off the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Like they have really cool songs that would go with that whole vampire theme.
They really do, but that Brood one is
it was just instrumental. There was
it was
no
just
vocals.
instrumental.
It was just instrumental.
Well, no, there was like weird like it was like souls passing by.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a person like singing out loud or whatever. But that was a cool one.
That was a cool one.
You know what I was surprised? I was surprised that for the time that that Eric Rowan was in WWE,
he never had a...
He had the coolest shirt collection ever, because every single Raw or SmackDown, whatever he was showing up, he always had a different metal shirt. Like he wore 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗧𝗔𝗞𝗘𝗗𝗢𝗪, Ensiferum, Children of Bodom, LVD, like Cannibal Corpse.
He was well versed in his metal.
I like his taste.
I really like his taste.
He never brought out a shirt that I didn't like the band, so let's put it this way. And you know what? He actually got me to watch the show just to see what shirt he would be wearing. Yeah. So I props to him. But based on what he was wearing, he never had a walkout song. And I think for him would have to be Amon Amarth.
Definitely.
Pursuit of Vikings. That would have been epic. Just for Eric Rowan to come down with Pursuit of Vikings playing. Obviously, I'm sure there's copyrights and there's money that royalties that WWE would have to pay.
Yeah.
But you know, if you're Amon Amarth, I would almost be willing to like say, you know what, like you can have it for free. Play a few seconds. It's huge, huge promotion.
Because they don't play the full song. They play
no, they only play a few minutes. Not even. It's just like the time that you walk down the ramp.
Exactly.
That's it. But I always felt like this dude has incredible shirts, but he doesn't have a walkout song. And if you're gonna have one, Amon Amarth was just like the absolute obvious for him. Another guy that, in my opinion, really needed a cool walkout song, and but I guess with this character, it was okay. Was The Undertaker, because he changed.
He changed. Yeah, he was the American Badass.
Oh, then he had a Kid Rock song.
A Kid Rock when he was American Badass, which was a good song.
Which fit him perfect for the character at the time. Perfect.
It was perfect, yeah.
But as The Undertaker, I don't know, the whole sinister music, like church music playing, to me, like it worked back in the 90s, but now, like, how can you go from The Undertaker to be the American badass and then go back to Undertaker? Like, if you go back to Undertaker, then modernize your whole persona and bring, like, I don't know, some doom.
Yeah.
Some As I Die by Paradise Lost. Imagine that, or True Belief.
Something by Paradise Lost would be...
Anything by Paradise Lost would... But imagine him coming down the ramp with As I Die.
I couldn't imagine it.
Oh, fuck. It would have been absolutely glorious.
Or Eternal.
For him, Eternal is better because the guy feels like he's eternal.
Yeah.
So Eternal would have been a good choice too.
For me, Corbin, remember him?
Yeah, I know
He's
Corbin.
bald now. But
what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Well, him.
Because he lost his hair, now he lost his cool?
No,
he's a complete douche.
He's a complete douche, but the thing is, he used to come out, his theme song, I actually like his theme song, but he's the wolf, I think Wolfheart. I wanted to play into that. I think if he came
The Flood? Maybe not The Flood.
It couldn't, I think, I was going to say Zero Gravity.
Nah.
But I think Zero Gravity would work for, like, a different type of wrestler who was more of a high flyer.
Oh yeah, Zero Gravity has to be for more of a high flyer, I think, to go with the theme. But Wolfheart has so many great songs.
Yeah.
Breakwater would have been a perfect song for Corbin to come out. And you could play the song and show the tattoo of the wolf that he has tattooed on the screen on the big... I think the marketing at WWE is completely like missing the mark on a lot of these guys because they just don't know how to promote it. I'll give them props for having bands come in for the pay-per-views. I think New Year's Day was the band playing at the last WrestleMania, so I give them props sometimes. Lizzie Hale, I know Hailstorm played at one as well. So they've had some bands coming on and having be the cornerstone of the pay-per-view, and they would announce it beforehand and play the music and stuff. So I give them props for creating awareness for up-and-coming rock metal bands. But I think they could have gone so much further because I really feel like the diagram of wrestling fans and metal fans kind of like collides. I think there's a huge crossover of metalheads who are also wrestling fans and vice versa. So I think they could have definitely played more into that. Yeah. And they had, I mean, I'm not asking for the New Day to come out to Body Count. That's not what I'm saying.
Because they're perfect with the way they are.
And I think
play into what the
you have to play into what the character is. The thing is, I think there's enough cool characters or there used to be enough cool characters in WWE to have cool metal songs as their walkout songs. What was the name of the guy that come in with a lantern? I'm forgetting his name right now.
Bray Wyatt.
Like, he could have had a badass song.
I mean,
some white zombie shit would have been absolutely epic.
They did redo his song. Now that he's the Fiend, they redid it, and it sounds a bit better. But
it's not catchy.
The thing is, the character he was, it fit him. I'm not gonna hate on it because it kind of fit the whole weird 3 guys from Alabama look that they had. So I'm not gonna hate on it.
I know, but after he dumped the other 2 guys, they could have revamped his image and revamped his song. Like, you're not like a swamp guy anymore at that point. You're moving. I just feel like they could have done more. One guy that didn't have great walkout music, it was Stone Cold. But the moment you heard the glass break, like Stone Cold, I don't think he needed walkout music.
He really didn't. He could have just walked out with nothing. Yeah.
Stone Cold could have walked out with absolutely nothing playing. It didn't really matter. He's one of the few exceptions to the rule.
There was I don't know if this will be the last one. There was the one the Vikings. There was the Viking tag team.
There are 2 guys.
We were talking about Amon Amarth. Those guys, literally any Viking themed band could have been.
Yeah, Tyr, for example.
Yeah.
Hold the Heathen Hammer high, like something like that would have worked.
Something like that. Those guys, it would have worked really well for those guys.
Yeah, it would have worked well for them. I always feel like there's, I'm sure there's I'm sure there's royalties and stuff like that at play. But even if they don't want to,
it's only the royalties of. I'm guessing it's only the royalties of when they actually are there.
Well, I was gonna say, but if you don't want to go down that road, then do what Triple H did, which is you commission the artist to create a theme song for you, and it becomes your theme song.
Exactly.
So, like, if you don't want to use "Pursuit of Vikings," if you're Eric Rowan more and you're coming down because of royalties or whatever,
to do a song.
Yeah, just contact Amon Amarth and is like, whatever. Can we work something out? And like I said, for the band, the promotion that comes with that, I was them, I would do it for free.
Amon Amarth doesn't really need that much promotion,
but still, to be the walkout song for Eric Rowan would be absolutely fucking epic. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of great ones, but to me there was a few that were missed. That could have been even better. That could have been a little bit crazier, if you will. I don't know. I just feel that way about it. Some of them hit the mark, and then some were complete
misfires.
Yeah, like they just didn't get it whatsoever. But I think if there's one that stands above all, has to be the game.
Definitely.
Let's just finish on that note. Moorhead, Lemmy, the game, Triple H, when he opens up his arms once again like Creed, and he spits out the water in that mist. It's such an iconic combo.
Yeah.
That, it's just absolutely incredible. The fact that he got Lemmy to do that shit, I wonder how much they paid him.
3 songs.
I wonder how much they paid him. I'm just wondering. Like, I'm sure Lemmy didn't do it for a bottle of whiskey. Like
that. Well, that would be a very Lemmy thing to do.
That would be a very Lemmy thing to do. All right, guys, this is it for today for this discussion on wrestling and walkout songs. Let us know your thoughts about your favorite walkout songs, or if there's a wrestler out there that you feel like could have had or should have a better walkout song. Let us know in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys at the next video. Take care.
See ya.